Where the fuck is McClay?
Oh, what's up, brother?
Right here. Episode 102.
Perfect.
Cool. I'll just put it right here.
Yep.
So I don't knock the power out.
Yeah, I was on.
I know everything is up.
Pull the mic a little bit closer.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Got it, like right there.
Yeah. All right, action.
Sweet. This is the Bogcast, episode 102. I'm Keith Obit with my best friend, Brian McClay. We are brought to you by Bang Salon. Come get all your hair needs, including cuts, natural colors, vivid colors, extensions, shampoo and stylings, all under one roof at Bang Salon. Find and message Bang Salon on Instagram at Bang Salon, at BANGDSALON. Use promo code
Bogcast.
for 20% off your first visit. So come on down and get banged by Jordan. But if you really try to bang her, fucking kill you.
That'd be pretty fucked up also.
Cool.
Check us out on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, Stitcher, Player FM, Amazon Music, all your favorite podcatchers. Recently opened up to India region, so shout out to all our fans
Shout
over
out to
there.
Ghana.
Shout out to Ghana region. We've got all kinds of new listeners over there. So this is for every listener out there, every viewer out there. If you want to get some stickers, just hit us up on social media, and we'll figure out a way to get them to you. Check out our Patreon, Bogcast, patreon.com/thebogcast. $36 a year is our lowest tier, $3 a month. If you guys want to help us out, that's the best way to help us out. Get some of these cool shirts your way, get some of this cool promotional material, and help us build up our studio. Just check it out, Bogcast, patreon.com/thebogcast. Also, if you guys are looking into CBD, make sure you guys go check out bogcastcbd.com. All natural, 100% organic, partnered up with Mellow by Design, a great company that's putting out great product. If you guys are looking to get into the CBD for sleep, if you're having trouble sleeping, if you got some pain issues, if you have a pet that's getting a little older and maybe not running as much and maybe needs a little bit of extra something, CBD
Actually,
for
shit,
pets.
give it to a puppy as a vitamin.
For vitamins. Listen, CBD is amazing. There's just new stuff coming about it every day. Of course, we recommend, if you can, full spectrum RSO, but sometimes not everybody can deal with that. So get you some Mellow by Design CBD at bogcastcbd.com. Another way to help support us. So yeah, that's it.
Sweet. I am really excited for our next guest. He is a producer, director, and filmmaker here in Phoenix, Arizona. What's up, Parco Richardson?
Hey.
There's sound effects right here.
Just like,
We could give you like a little board.
Yeah, like a soundboard.
The guy
Yeah.
from Howard Stern.
Yeah.
What was his
Yeah.
name?
Jackie, right?
No, not Jackie.
The sound man.
There's a guy. He used to have tapes all behind
Oh,
him
yeah.
of just different crazy
Yeah.
shit he would do. Anyway.
That was the guy who created Ren and Stimpy, wasn't it?
No.
That guy worked for Howard Stern for a little bit in the beginning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
I would have never known that.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy facts with McClay. Brought to you by McClay.
Yeah, both.
No, what's up, man? I know, I met you on a, I guess, short film that we did called Laughter Not Guaranteed.
Yeah.
I actually had seen you around, honestly, on different sets, on like different commercials and things like that. I wasn't actually ever sure what kind of roles you were doing
Yeah.
on those sets and stuff, but I know you are, you have a new feature film that you guys are working on. So
we got a new short film coming out called Torodeoro.
Oh, it's a short film?
Yeah, it's a short film.
Oh, okay, my
So
bad.
No,
That's
but I mean, the idea came about where we want to. This is like a concept.
I see. Okay.
You know what I mean? To where we're gonna push it and make like this could be a feature film.
I see what you're saying.
If like the right people saw this short film and was like, oh man, that's amazing, you know, and then they were like, what else do you got? Well, hey, there's a future film for this project. You know what I mean? So
Isn't
that's
that
the
how
end goal.
how a lot of movies do get made that way,
Yeah.
especially independent film? That's how a lot of movies get made.
Yeah.
A lot of feature films that are your favorite movie. Sometimes there's a short film behind that you don't even know about.
Yeah.
that,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Exactly.
I love when I discovered on IMDb, like, holy shit, like,
Yeah.
this is like actually the concept film.
Yeah, like the
Mhm.
original.
And it sometimes,
like
most of the time,
THX 1330 or 1138. What is it?
11:37, 8.
1138,
Yeah.
I think. The George Lucas original
Yeah.
George Lucas short film that eventually they got Robert. Who's the guy that was in Godfather? Robert Duvall to play in that.
Oh yeah,
Based on the short film, and that's what got Star Wars made. Was that short film? So
isn't it
more McClay facts?
Isn't that crazy that people didn't really believe in Star Wars back then?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's such a huge like franchise now.
It was a disaster, even all the way up until the edit. Like, it was saved in the edit. He had all his friends, directors, like, I think who was it that
the guy that did Godfather?
One of them recommended doing the scroll to give more information, you know, about it.
I watched a really good documentary on YouTube about Apocalypse Now, the making of Apocalypse Now, and they have this little thing where they're talking about his relationship with George Lucas. What was that guy's? I can't believe I'm blanking on his name.
Is it
Francis Ford Coppola?
Yeah.
And how the whole idea to make that film Apocalypse Now was George Lucas's idea originally, and George Lucas couldn't do it anymore because he wanted to do Star Wars, but he wanted to do it later. But Francis Ford Coppola, who was his best friend at the time, was like, "Fuck it, I'm taking it, I'm stealing it." Yeah. And so Francis Ford Coppola and George was kind of pissed for a little bit, but finally he was like, "You know what? I got this amazing space odyssey opera craziness that I'm building with Star Killer, right?"
Yeah.
Star Wars is such an odd thing. Like, even the actors are like, "What the? You know, no one talks like this. Like, the dialogue's all weird, and there's this weird tall dog walking around, and then it comes out and it fucking is like the biggest thing in the world." And now it's
it's huge. I mean, like, it's insane. And like how you're talking about, like, George Lucas, you know, he hasn't directed a lot of projects, but you'll be surprised that he's written a shit ton of projects, like, you know, movies that, like, iconic movies where you're just like, oh, George Lucas wrote that movie? You know what I mean? Like Indiana Jones, like, you know, even though Steven Spielberg, but that's all, you know, George Lucas. And I feel like I don't want to call myself George Lucas, but I have these crazy ideas, but I know I'm not the right person to direct these ideas. And that's kind of like how Tordo came up, was that, like, you know, I had this crazy idea, you know, I'm like, you know, and I talked to Rahulio, the lead actor in it, and we just came up with this idea, like, what do we want to do? And it was just like, oh, let's, you know, what about a bullfighter, you know, movie? And we started coming up with these, you know, throwing ideas, you know, around. And then we got Pedro involved, and, you know, I'm not Mexican, so I'm like, this doesn't really have any connection with me. I just thought of a cool story, you know. And then I got Pedro, and, you know, started writing it, and, you know, we just been, you know, bouncing ideas. And then we got to the point where, you know, we're just like, let's do this thing, you know? Yeah.
I want to, you brought up laughter not guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
I want to talk about that real quick, because I thought that was such a great idea. Like, I gotta be honest. I didn't, when you brought it up and talked about it, I was like, holy shit, that was a great I saw that was when I think you did a little thing in that. That was a great idea. How'd you come up with that, and where did that come from?
Oh yeah, so laughter not guaranteed, like, after, you know, now I've gotten to the point where I just call it, that was like my experiment. Like, you know, just, I wanted to test my writing skills, especially my comedic writing, because that's kind of like what I want to lean towards. And so that came up because I wanted, this is, you know, before, you know, Me Too movement and everything started happening. So I came up with the idea, and Laughter Not Guaranteed was a lot more raunchier, like, just, you know, like, things that wouldn't fly today. Like, when we, like, the original pilots and like the episodes we had, they just wouldn't fly today after, like, you know, this is like, because inspiration for it was like the first season of Master of None, the first season of, or the series of Louis.
That's one of my favorite talk shows ever.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. So
I'm basing a show off of that.
Yeah, yeah, and I love Louis, and I was just like, man, it sucked, what happened, and I was just like, oh, yeah, but also it always brings back that
He asked.
Yeah, huh?
He asked.
Who?
Louis.
Louis C.K.?
Yeah, before he fucking busted out his wiener, he asked, "What's the?"
I mean, I haven't done the research into it, but I mean, like,
That's true.
Give the guy a break.
Yeah.
He's a genius.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Fucking.
but-
you should have pushed those boundaries.
Yeah.
Instead of done all that shit. You know what I mean? Like.
well, I mean, like after like you write something, you sleep on it for like 4 years, and then you decide to be like, all right.
So you slept on that for you had that
it
4
was like
years
yeah,
ago?
yeah. We like wrote it like in 2015, 2016, and then like, we shot that episode like the year before, like like 2018 December or whatever it was, and I just it was just one of those things where you sleep on an idea and then you come back and you read it and you're just like, yeah, I don't know about this. So you go back to the drawing board, and I mean it's still the same the general concept, but
And what is the general concept of it?
for just Laugh and Not Guarantee.
Yeah, for the viewers and the listeners.
The general idea for Laugh and Not Guarantee was that it was just going to be a web series that was basically about a female comedian. It was basically the female version of Louis C.K. Like that was like the idea behind it. And then, I don't live in New York. We don't live in New York. So, I had to like change it up to fit our, Phoenix. And so it actually started like evolving into something more, like instead of it being like, she's a comedian. It was like, it was one of these things where she was a comedian, but didn't really have a passion for it. She had a passion for acting. You know what I mean? So a little bit like the next couple episodes were just going to be, her trying to be an actor, going to an audition and things like that. But it was always, the idea was going to be like, Laughter Not Guarantee. You would never think that her actual comedy was funny. Like, how Seinfeld and like Louis, like when they actually got on stage and started doing their bits, that was funny. It was funny. This, she wasn't going to be
bad.
She's bad. But her life.
But that's what's funny.
Yeah, that's what's funny. But her life
It's
and
funny.
the things that she does in like when she interacts with people, that's the funny part. You know what I mean? That's what That's what the comedy.
That's kind of like what episode 1 was.
Yeah,
her
yeah,
interactions with the different characters.
Interactions with the different characters. So she's like funny in the awkwardness. You know what I mean? Like she's funny to like if you were to interact with just normal people and like, oh man, how you think you're so funny. Like if you're high, you're like, oh man, you think you're telling all these great jokes, but then when you're not, you're like. You
realize it's not funny.
Yeah, it's not funny. Yeah, so it's kind of like that.
That's my brother.
So I know you. What?
That's my brother.
I know you wrote or you shot episode 2, right?
Yeah, I shot
Well, what the
episode 2.
fuck?
I know. Hey, you know what? This is, I'll be honest with you.
People asking me about it, and I'm like, I'm not even in it. I don't fucking know. But
Well,
I still want to see it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Episode 2, even though I should have had I had a lot of time during quarantine.
What were you doing? Playing video games?
No. I was writing. I wrote.
You were making bread.
Yeah, I was making
We're
bread.
gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was making bread, and then I was also writing.
Like real bread.
Oh.
Yeah.
thought you were talking making money.
No, nothing like that.
I'm like, good for you, bro. Hell yeah.
I could tell. Yeah, I was like, no,
real bread. No, I was making. No, I was writing. We finished. I wrote 2 feature films.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Well, let me ask you this: how long does it take? Did it take you to edit episode 1?
Oh man, episode 1 was one of those things where I had a rough cut, and I slept on it still because I'm one of those people who, to myself, I think I gotta like step back from it. You know what I mean? Like if I'm watching it every day. And
Well, isn't it smart to sometimes have someone else edit it so you don't get caught up in that shit?
Yeah, and that was one of the things. I tried to get somebody else to edit episode 2, but they were just super busy and they just couldn't edit
That shit
it. So
sucks.
yeah. So and then I took the hard drive back thinking like, okay, I'll edit it. But then I started getting in my own head again, and where I started to edit, and then I'm like, I started nitpicking everything and being like, and then you just don't want to.
It is a wise idea to have someone else edit.
Oh
it,
yeah, for sure. Because I mean, like for me, I would just always just look at it. Like I was episode 1, you guys, when did I release episode 1? Like
I don't even remember.
6 months or something after, but I had
I see what you're saying.
yeah, but I had a cut of it like a couple weeks after we got done. You know what I mean? But it was just one of those things where I was just sitting there like,
Did
how
you
do I
need
ma-
like
how do I-
positive feedback? Maybe like, did you show friends or get
I
it?
was
Oh,
gonna
no,
ask,
no,
that's-
no, no,
that had to have positive feedback. It was good.
yeah. I have friends come over and just say, hey, I think you should cut this down, because I mean that it was. I think my first edit of that was probably like 20 minutes. It was a 20-minute.
What was
long.
the final one? Like 11 or 12?
Yeah, it was like we cut it down. We cut like 10 minutes
Damn,
off of it.
I want to see that 10 minutes.
Yeah. I know, yeah. So I mean, like, well, and that was just because of the beginning portion of it, where I was just doing these like that like those
cuts.
those cuts, those splice cuts within her like brainstorming, and the
That
reason
was so good.
and-
Like I'm remembering it all as we're talking about it.
Yeah.
And I gotta be honest, bro, that was really
And
good.
another
Yeah.
important part of why it's so good is it looks amazing too, because it's shot by fucking Aiden.
Oh, yeah, Aiden,
and
yeah,
Aiden's a
yeah.
bad motherfucker.
I was just about to say it. Not only
he
it
works with
looks
Aiden.
good, the editing is done really well.
Yeah.
In that first little short.
thank you. Yeah. Like I said, I just I kept going back to the editing, and and people telling me like, you got to cut this down, you got to cut it down. So then I just I'll watch a few shows and stuff like that, see how it's cut.
Can
Like,
you pull us up a little bit, dude?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
No, you're
Right
good.
here.
You can just pull it towards you. Yeah. There you go. Sorry.
Alright,
sorry.
good. Okay. Yeah, and I just decide like, hey, like watch a few like shows like Curb Your Enthusiasm, things like that. See how they're cut, like the beats. And that was really
I love doing that. That's a
Yeah,
good idea. Just
yeah.
watch other shows
Yeah,
to
yeah.
see how they make their beats.
And
yeah.
that was what it was. It was just like seeing the comedic beats of everything in that first, what was it, the first minute where she's like kind of coming up with things. And so the first one was like, it was like really just like, I didn't have to show her like walking from the kitchen, going to sit down, pouring a shot. It was just like, just
show the actions.
yeah, and it's do, you know what I mean? Just cut all that stuff out and just show her like right in the, like taking a beer. Next scene, oh, there's lots of beers. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have to show this crazy progression. People will get what's going on.
Did you have those beats in your head when you were shooting it, or?
I had those beats in my head, but I was also, you overshoot a lot of that stuff because you want like
coverage and shit.
Coverage of her like walking in, because it's like one of those things in like film school, like they always, they're just like, well, I didn't see her walk in, or I didn't see her come from whatever way.
Who
And
gives
it's
a
just,
fuck?
I know, yeah. Now I'm just like,
Well,
it's the artist, it's like the director, or and when did like that was the biggest thing for me when going through film school, was that like, when did filmmaking become not artistic?
yeah.
You know
When
what I
did
mean?
it have
Like, there's rules?
There's
Yeah.
rules. Like when did it become like
I
this
know.
whole rule thing? Because
That's why I like Charlie Kaufman, because he breaks that, like, he doesn't follow that 3-act arc, in
Yeah.
scripts and shit. Like, he
yeah,
doesn't give a fuck.
yeah. I mean, like, and that was the biggest thing, because I remember doing my senior film, and they were telling me, go back and shoot all this, and I'm just like, well, this is my
Like
film.
the teachers?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
teacher. I'm like, well, this is my film. Like this ain't your film. This is my project.
You said you went to art to film school.
Yeah, I went to film school.
Where'd you go to film school?
Oh, Art Institute of Phoenix.
Okay.
It's no longer around. It's
So you could talk mad shit about
Yeah, it's just trash. The school's trash. I mean, like,
well, you learned how to do some shit at
that's
least.
what I mean. Yeah. Like, so they, to learn the software, the programs, and some things. But like when you actually get on a professional set, like they had no idea. None of those people
They're
over there,
noobs.
they were pretty much noobs. Like I think a lot of them came from news, and not like
That's way different.
Yeah, then the commercial and filmmaking, like where it's like a crew of 50 people, grip electric. Because when I first got on my first set, and they were saying terms like, give me a stinger and this and that, and I was like, what are you guys talking about? You know what I mean? And
There's a lot of lingo and slang on sets to know as far as the crew.
and you never knew any of that. They didn't teach you any of that.
It's always so much more important to learn while doing rather than learn while.
Well, some of the best
booked.
directors say the best film school is just going out and filming your own shit.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And
What do they call that? They have a name for that, like guerrilla media or something like that. Where
Robert Rodriguez is like,
where you just go do it.
Yeah.
You just go do it. Like get out there and create something.
Yeah.
And Jesus, with the amount, how easy it is nowadays, you can create amazing
People can do it off
films
their
with
phones.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And young kids are doing it. And
Yeah.
I mean, look at what's going on with some of these TikTok and stuff like that. These kids
Yeah.
are becoming filmmakers and they don't even know it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I kind of envy, you know, of this new generation. Because back when I was in, you know, high school, I was making movies with my friends, but like, man, it's like they literally have
You were limited to the
limited
technology.
to technology back then, and now these kids are like iPhone
4Ks.
like, 4K
Yeah.
walking in their pocket with the editing software in the cell phone,
And
you
a
know what I mean?
gimbal, like a 3-axis gimbal,
Gimbal.
in one
Motorized.
hand.
Motorized.
And, you know, back
Yeah.
then I was like, you know, we had to weld together like PVC pipe and all this stuff with a weight at the
To make
bottom.
a slider.
Yeah, the slider or like a steady cam. You know
Oh,
what
a
I mean? Like,
Steadicam,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's just like you had to do that stuff to.
You probably learned a lot.
Yeah,
doing
you
that,
learn a
though.
lot.
Well, think about like people you were talking about when you were doing the technology. Think about people like Steven Spielberg who was doing it
Well,
when
on
he was
film,
on
all
film,
film,
yeah.
cutting it and all that
cutting
bullshit.
it himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they say, I mean, maybe you can tell me this, that horror and comedy is kind of the harder genres to tackle as far as shooting and maybe even editing, because those beats are hard to find sometimes.
I think so too. I think it's just hard in general to like write a good comedy and write a good horror film, because you know everything's really been done already, and so now it's just like finding new ways to be creative with it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I think that's why Jordan Peele, right? Jordan Peele is just like, he is like
On it.
on it right now,
Yeah.
because it's
It's
just like this-
exciting.
yeah,
It's
it's just-
exciting. He makes
yeah,
it
it's just-
exciting, yeah.
It's this new
It's like a new take on it.
new take on horror.
New
You know what I
spin
mean?
and
Yeah.
makes it interesting.
Because
yeah.
it's because he also adds, like, I know some people don't like it, but I know a few people who have, like, you know, he did come from a comedic background, so you
I
know,
love him, man.
Yeah.
I fucking
and Peele's one of my
cannot believe
favorite
that
shows.
transition. I think that's amazing
Yeah.
that he
right?
does
That's
that.
what, and I mean,
I think that's growth.
yeah.
I love when someone can expand like that.
Yeah.
That show, man.
We watch that show
Holy
constantly.
shit, that's one of my
man.
favorite shows
Yeah.
ever. I was just thinking about that Steve Urkel skit
Yeah.
just yesterday. When he was fucking Carl and all
Yeah.
that. Oh man, they are funny as fuck. But yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, and I think that's a great, you know, like I said, he took a genre that nobody's seen. Like, I mean, he won an Oscar off of Get Out. You know
His
what I
very
mean?
first movie.
Yeah,
right?
very first movie. You know what I mean? He's winning an Oscar. You know, because it was so original. You know what I mean?
I wonder how many people have done that, have won an Oscar on their very first movie.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's good.
The Quentin Tarantino, maybe.
No, his very first
No,
movie was
Reservoir
Reservoir
Dogs,
Dogs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to talk to you about Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah, Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
I guess I had an impact on your life, huh?
Oh yeah, Pulp Fiction. I like Pulp Fiction. I mean, that was like, that's what kind of got me into starting, you know, wanting to do filmmaking, because I was watching, like, it was like on TBS one day or something. You know what I mean? And it's just
So it's
like
edited and shit.
yeah, it's all edited, but like,
Mother, father.
yeah, exactly. But I was
My
just like,
favorite edit of all. Sorry,
You're
real
good.
quick. My favorite edit of all time is Half Baked, when he goes, "Yeah, you know, pick me up some. What was that thing that we used to get all the time? I can't. Pudding. You know, instead of pussy, he goes pudding. It's one of the greatest.
my God.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
It's just so funny too because it's a totally different voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I saw that Pulp Fiction had a huge impact on you and kind
Yeah.
of got you into filmmaking, right?
yeah. I mean,
How old were you?
dude, I don't know. I had to be like 12 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah,
Pulp
because
Fiction came out?
No, when it was replayed
when
on
it was
TBS.
replayed on TBS.
Oh my God.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, I feel old.
Yeah, because
I remember when Pulp Fiction first came out, and we went to go see it in the theater.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And I remember that scene, a famous scene when
The bondage?
the needle in the heart.
Yeah.
When that happened, people in the fucking theater got up and walked out, man. And that's one of the few places where everybody heard the whole theater go, you know, like
It's
that.
hard to watch the first time.
Yeah.
It's like,
Great
fuck.
It's
fucking
funny.
movie, man.
It's funny to me about people walking out of theaters. I had the two movies that I think I'm trying to remember what movies. One was Call Me by Your Name. That was a recent movie that I had. There was a couple that got up and just never came back, and then another one was Her with
Joaquin Phoenix?
Joaquin
That movie's
Phoenix.
awesome.
Yeah, but like right where the part where he's like, it's all black screen and he's like jerking off or whatever to the voice of her, like having sex with.
These ladies had enough.
They just had enough and just got up and just left. And I think there might have been one more movie recently, maybe Midsummer or something like that. Maybe some people got up and just walked out.
Have you ever walked out of a movie?
Yeah, Daddy Daycare.
That was quick.
Is that the one with The Rock?
No, that's the one with Eddie Murphy. Like,
Yeah.
I
Terrible.
and this was at the $2 theater too. It was just like, and
I've walked out of $2.
That's when you just walk out of that one and go into another
yeah,
one.
it was one of those movies where I was sitting there, I was just like, fuck this thing. I was like, this shit. I don't know. I just could not get on. It was just too ridiculous.
I walked
just
out of
won an
Dracula
Emmy.
Dead and Loving It. Remember that one?
Which
Yeah.
one?
Dracula Dead and Loving It
Yeah.
with Leslie Nielsen being bad.
With Naked Gun.
I could not wait to see that movie because he's a legend.
Mm-hmm.
And then the movie was just, we were just like, oh my God.
I walked out of The Man Without a Face. One of the worst movies.
Mel
I've ever
Gibson?
seen. Yeah. That was when
I
I
don't
was.
remember that movie.
That's about the only movie I've ever walked out on.
Yeah, I don't think I think now I just kind of put up with a movie. I just like, all right, I already spent the money. I might as well just sit here and
Yeah,
watch
it's
this
like-
shit.
At least get a nap in.
Yeah, just at least get a nap in. Or
Well,
something.
now you can't do that, right? Like they have the whole thing where you're paying $30 for a movie at home.
Oh yeah.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Especially for somebody who doesn't have a family. It's great for somebody who has
Well,
a family.
They do
Yeah.
it where it's in the theater at the same time. That's why you're paying for that. Does that make sense?
Mulan wasn't. Mulan
So
was
you're kind of paying.
$30 to see at home.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was while they were
But
in
I
the
think
theater at the same time.
that price point, like you said, is like that price point is for people who have like they think the average family has like 18 kids. You know, these people who are running around and there's like they have 6-7 kids running around, and so they're like, oh, the price point to go. If I was to take all my family to go to a movie, it would cost around $50 to $60 because of popcorn and their movie tickets and all this stuff. And that's actually pretty for them. That's like cheap. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, $30. Oh, that's perfect.
good
And
point.
because I can make popcorn at home.
A movie going experience for a family is pricey as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. For a big family, for us,
Totally.
I would never pay $30 to go see Mulan. I'm like, no, because for me, I want to go see it by myself. I only pay,
We'll just go to watch32is.is.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah, watch it for free.
Yeah.
Bleep, bleep.
But sorry, I wanted that out.
Yeah.
No,
No affiliation with
back to your short film that you're doing. I know you're raising money. For
Oh,
that.
yeah,
I
man.
just want to talk about real quick, like how people can donate and shit like that.
Oh yeah, so you can go to get on my Kickstarter, Parco Rich, or at Parco Rich. Sorry.
I'll put links up and shit.
Okay, cool. And then or my Facebook, Parco Richardson. I mean, you'll see all of it up on my Facebook. I've been spamming people, but I mean, we literally raised $5,000 in less than 24
I think you're
hours.
at 6, bro. I
Yeah.
checked today.
Oh yeah. We're at 6. See, correct me. He like,
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, we're at
That's-
6K. Yeah.
That's amazing,
cool.
bro.
Yeah, and we've only been up for 48 hours.
holy
You know what I
shit,
mean?
dude.
So it's like I think
I love the ambition, man.
dude, it took us for our first project, Alter Valley, which was directed by Tala. That took us like almost the whole entire 30 days to like raise that. Like I think it was like $8,000, but I think we ended up with like 9 or something like that at the end. And that was just with a single image. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
this one you have a video. Where
yeah, we got. I mean, well, no, we had a video on that one too, but it was just like the title Alter Valley behind like a desert landscape. You know what I mean? And that was like the poster and everything for it. But this one we have like, you could see if you were to look at that Kickstarter versus this Kickstarter now, you could see how much we've grown as filmmakers and things like that. Where it's just like the imagery, like everybody's been coming back and being like, dog, this poster is freaking amazing. Like everything, like every time they like any of the character posters that we've been showing, everybody has just been like, oh, like wow, like, and I think that's what it is. I think people are like just intrigued, and they're just like, this looks such like a high caliber project that.
Well, just the people involved. I mean, honestly, you guys are a fucking amazing crew.
Thank you.
But for other filmmakers that are trying to raise money, why did you choose Kickstarter over, say, like, I don't know, GoFundMe or Indiegogo? Is there a certain reason, or?
I mean, we've had success with Kickstarter before. Yeah, we got our last project funded.
I've seen different filmmakers use different ones, and
Go
I'm wondering for myself, and this is
Oh.
the reason why I asked you. And also,
we were
like, I
thinking
know
of-
if you don't get all the money, you don't get it, right?
yeah, we
So
don't.
isn't
get,
that kind of a risk?
that is the risk, and so that was the
But-
biggest thing. I mean, maybe we're just cocky, and we were just like,
I think
we're
that's
gonna get we're gonna get this fucking money.
Can't you start low and then extend it?
I don't think they let you. Kickstarter won't let you.
Kickstarter
yeah,
won't.
let you adjust
Yeah,
the
but like
pricing.
GoFundMe and Indiegogo,
They will let
different
you.
ones take different percentages,
Mhm.
and they also some will like even if you don't hit your goal, you could still like GoFundMe, you could still
Yeah.
pull from it and shit.
Yeah,
so I was just curious why you.
Oh,
use
so yeah.
Kickstarter.
Well, that's the thing. Well, GoFundMe, we were thinking about doing GoFundMe, but GoFundMe, I mean, I think that's just for more of a
like charity,
Yeah, charity. You know what I
like
mean?
someone who like
yeah,
you're got in a car accident,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
got cancer, or something.
exactly, because you can still get the
But
money
their
every
films
week.
are being
Yeah,
or
but there
go-
are
yeah.
films, and you can still get the money every week, but it's like slowly coming in. You know what I mean? And I think with GoFundMe, like we don't need the money right now. Like, you know what I mean? Right now, me, Pedro, and Rahulio, we've been kind of just fronting the cost of whatever things just to get everything, the ball rolling right now.
How
and-
far are you along in the pre-production?
Oh, I mean, dude, we pretty far. I mean, like the only thing I guess now is that we just got to start.
Scouting locations?
No, we already scouted locations. We got location pictures on the Kickstarter. Yeah, we're even talking about maybe possibly shooting in like Nogales in Mexico at an actual big bullfighting arena that was used, back in the 70s and 80s.
That's dope.
So, I mean, I think it's just about preference. I think if you really need the money to start pre-production, I think people will go with GoFundMe. But if you're like, we're already pretty far along, and this budget, right, and the money we're asking for is actually for the production, so we can like pay location fees, rent, we got the camera package, the grip package,
Like renting gear and shit.
renting the gear pack.
What kind of gear do you have to rent?
So we got to rent the lighting equipment. So we probably renting like a grip truck that has all that. Like,
and do you have a friend to run that, or do you have to hire that guy?
We got to hire that guy too.
Okay.
So we'll have to hire.
So that's a daily rate.
Yeah, that's a daily rate. We want to pay all the actors on this one this time, and then what is it? Pay all the actors, and I feel like I'm missing
Promotional material.
promotion. Oh, post the
Yeah.
post side of everything. Film festivals.
The festivals are pricey as
Yeah,
fuck.
festivals
So
are
can you
pricey.
talk about that real quick? Because I don't think a lot of people realize that it costs money to
enter
festivals.
Yeah.
And that's how festivals make their money. That's how they're able
That's why
to stay.
most of them are kind of bullshit, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah, I
Like,
think a
there's
lot-
like a lot of good ones. Don't get me wrong, but
Mhm.
some people I feel like they just make fucking festivals just so
Just
they
to
can
take
make
money,
and
yeah.
shit, and they don't really care about promoting good art.
Mhm.
And then all these bullshit movies win and shit. and you're
Win
like, shut
awards.
the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly.
Just so you could put that wheat symbol on your fucking thing,
Exactly. And I think that was one of my, not to knock any local film
Of
festivals
course,
or
yeah.
anything like that. I mean, there's
I was talking in general.
Oh, no.
but-
I mean, like, that was one of my big pet peeves with like one of the, like, I've been trying to get in contact with, I stopped after a while, but like Phoenix Film Festival, I was trying to get in contact with them because I was just like, they run the festival up in Scottsdale. And I'm like, that seems like it's more the Scottsdale Film Festival than it is the Phoenix Film Festival. And I wanted
Yes.
to talk to them about moving
Yes.
it down to,
Yeah,
Downtown Phoenix.
motherfuckers film
Yeah,
bar.
yeah, yeah,
No,
where it's
that's
like
probably they're too small, but
like, why don't you like, because it's been like they've been
Convention centers.
Yeah. And because they've been running like, the festival's been running for probably like, I don't know, 20 years or whatever, but it's still it's like, it's just, I know it's at a theater. It's like, okay, you can have your movie play in the theater, but I'm like, I'm looking more for the experience of like going to an actual festival. Cause I don't know if you guys been to like a nice festival where you're like,
There's
you can,
events.
there's events around the,
Yeah, bars,
bars
yeah.
and everywhere. And
Comedy shows.
Yes, exactly. And I was like, the perfect place would be downtown to throw your festival. And
There's a lot of theaters that are gonna need things being played in them too.
exactly. And so, one festival that's kind of coming up down here is Indie Film Fest, and they're downtown. And so I like what they're doing, because they're out of Film Bar, and once they keep getting bigger and bigger, then they'll end up being like something like, you go to like, Sundance, and it's like the entire Park City town is taken over by this one festival. So you're walking up down the strip, so you can walk in, oh, there's so and so talking. You walk over across the street, oh, there's so and so. You know what I mean? And that's what kind
Networking.
of yeah. And it's about networking, because I went to Oaxaca last year. Me and Pedro went to Oaxaca because we had a film play down there.
Which one?
Paradise Terrace.
Okay.
And we went down there, and it was like, I ain't never seen. It was the whole city of Oaxaca. Like first it was like downtown
I feel
Oaxaca.
like an idiot. Where's this at?
It's Mexico,
Oh, okay,
South
okay,
Mexico,
okay,
like below,
okay.
like south of Mexico City.
Okay.
So we went there, and it's like they utilized the whole fucking city. You know what I mean?
That's
like
dope.
it's like we're downtown. Oh, there's premieres on all the way across town, and like a hospital. Oh, then we come back down. All the bars were included. Like we went to the bars, and it was just like, dude, I was just like,
It's an event.
it's a huge
Kind
event.
of like South by Southwest.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's just like one of those things where I was just like, why isn't every film festival like ran like this? And so I've been wanting to, like, I wanted to try to get in contact with them, or even
Phoenix
start
is
my
that,
and like start my own festival. But then I see there's already these other film festivals going. I'm just like, guys, you could be
work
so much
together. That's what you need to do. You need to just find a
Or you
bunch
could
of
be-
people to
yeah.
work together with, and
they don't know how much big like you could have you could have the South by Southwest if you just utilized half of the stuff here, you know,
Yeah.
like just
Phoenix
took,
I don't
doesn't-
think
doesn't
people
have
realize-
anything like that here.
Well, people don't realize how awesome downtown Phoenix is
Now is. That's what I mean, like
it used to be ghetto as fuck 10
Mhm.
years ago.
Yeah.
But it is slowly every year. There's
Yeah.
fucking more
Dude.
apartments going up,
Mhm.
fucking coffee shops, just whatever the fuck.
Exactly.
And it's getting feels safer and
Yeah.
just more fun shit to do.
Yeah.
A lot of small business
and
owners.
it's the perfect time to have like one of a great
The
film
winter in Phoenix,
yes,
man.
winter in Phoenix here. You have a film festival play. Oh
That'd
my
be
God.
Knock
dope.
it out the park,
Dude,
man.
you'll be like, and like it's all about network too, because like I said, like if you're walking around town with a festival pass, you know what I mean, then you have also the local people who are not part of the festival in there with you
making money.
and they're like, oh, what are you working on? Like, you know, it's just some random dude, and you can tell them about your film you have in there, because that's what happened with us at Oaxaca. This guy from Canada, he was just there traveling the world or something with his family, and we were there at the it was something it's not Day of the Dead, but it happens in October. It's like the first week of October. I forgot. It's something about the Saints or something.
All
And
Saints Day?
yeah, something like that. And it was this huge festival, and they're just partying in the street, and we just attached to that, and we just partied in the street with it. And this guy came out, he was like, what's going on? I was like, oh, we're just drinking in the street and partying. But he was just like, what are you guys here for? And we started talking, and the dude came to our premiere of
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? We just
Oh,
talked
yeah.
to him right there, and he was just there traveling, you know what I mean? But he came, and so that's, if you mingle like that, and you have an event that's like in the area with housing and everything like that. Like right now, you go up to Scottsdale, I mean, where the film festival is right now, it's just a shopping center. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
There's
cheesy.
nothing around. There's no apartments. There's no housing. You're just in a shopping center. And I'm like, how do you expand an event?
You can't
know?
really network there.
You can't really network. And
Yeah.
that's why I've always been hesitant to just buy festival passes at Phoenix. Cause I'm just like, why do I want to spend $300 to just stay in a shopping center?
You know, it'd
the
be
entire
dope.
time, you know?
It'd be dope to do it like you piggyback on some type of holiday or event that's already going on. Like do it during Christmas season,
Yeah.
like, and have it, be, because there's a lot more people here in Phoenix at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Have it piggyback on something where there's going to be a lot of people.
Snowbirds come
Yeah.
in, like, you know what I mean? Something
Yeah.
like, and that's why I would love for, like I said, indie film festival. They're coming up, and hopefully they utilize the entire downtown, because that would be my ideal film festival to go to, is like start at Film Bar. Film Bar has their thing going. Oh, AMC has something showing over there. Oh, you go over to Carly's. Carly's has so-and-so actors talking over here. Wilderness has like happy hour for filmmakers, and it's just like utilizing all the
You
businesses,
use all of Roosevelt Row.
all of Roosevelt Road to just everybody just and it's catering to, and like I said, just build that Sundance experience downtown Phoenix. Yeah,
Music going on,
everything,
bands
dude.
playing.
It's just like,
Comedians.
but I mean, like I said, I know obviously it's going to it takes money, it takes years of running a festival. I know it takes time, but I was hoping to this was like a couple years ago when or maybe, no, it was like last summer. I was trying to talk to, the guys who run, Phoenix Film Festival, but I could never get in contact with them. But it was just like, I wanted to like throw that idea to them to be like, you guys have been running this for like 20 years or whatever,
and
like
it hasn't grown.
It hasn't, like, you know what I mean? Like, let's make this into the new South by Southwest, let's make this into Sundance, the new, I mean, like,
It has the potential for sure.
I mean, where did we do? The 5th largest city or something in America? I'm like, and we like and we don't have a great film festival like that's taken over,
We've
It's
been
just
let
like-
down a lot here when it comes to growth of Phoenix, the city, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And growth of like artistic and cultural things in the city. We've really been let down.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
but as far as film and commercials and all that shit,
Yeah.
Phoenix to me is like the minor leagues to LA.
oh yeah. I mean, we have a lot of good, projects that come. I mean, like, it's just the biggest thing here is that we need to get our tax incentive back. I mean, because we used to have a lot of movies come, back in the day. I mean, I wasn't in the industry back then, but I mean, I was in the military, so I was in California back then. So it was just like there was, from what I've been told, there was like all these huge blockbuster films coming through.
Yeah, the
You know,
Kingdom was shot
Yeah,
here,
all that
fucking-
stuff. Yeah. Back before the 202 officially opened, they used all that highway,
Transformers and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, all that stuff, So it's like we could have that constantly here, especially during especially like you said, during the wintertime when it's just like the nicest weather ever. You know what I mean? Sunny and cool.
Well, we talk about this
Sunshine,
all the
it's just
time
like-
with that shit, the tax incentives, but not only that, but you have any kind of location that you would need within like an hour, like whether it's
Mhm.
fucking
Oh.
the forest or the fucking desert or
They
just
shot-
plains.
They
or-
shot Temple of Doom here. People don't know that they shot Temple of Doom like that. When he's on the bridge and stuff like that.
Well,
Where at?
didn't they shoot certain scenes in
Star Wars.
in Tucson?
Yeah.
It's,
Exactly. So they,
Tatooine stuff.
yeah, they shot. I think they shot it right outside of Payson or something like the Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I've heard that.
yeah, and it's just like, come on, guys, like,
But they shoot a fuckload of commercials out here
oh,
for
dude,
sure.
so many commercials, and I
And
mean,
you've been on a lot of those bigger commercial
oh yeah,
sets. Huh?
I mean, well, and it's also because we have a lot of celebrities and like athletes that live here, Arizona and Phoenix and stuff like that. So
so if they're in the commercial, then the production's usually
yeah,
from. I see.
they always come down here to shoot stuff. And there's also just a lot of businesses that are like headquartered out here. You know what I mean?
So is
Just
that like a production company that comes down and just hires
yeah,
a team in Phoenix to shoot it? Does that make
yeah,
sense?
from what my understanding is that like there's like an agency involved, like like the agency has like opens up a bid or something for like different production companies to, oh, here, we have we're wanting to shoot a commercial, put a bid in, like, oh, I can, like, say me, I can,
I see.
like you, oh, I can do this commercial with this concept for
$5 grand.
$5,000. And then me, I'll come in and I'm like, well, I can do some concept for $2,000. They're going to be like, we either like this concept more or this concept more for cheaper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they choose between whatever,
Do
so
they usually already have the commercial in mind that they want to
Yeah,
shoot, or they
sometime-
leave it up to?
sometimes I think sometimes I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
I haven't even got to that point. I just know, like, usually, the director or, the agency, they probably either come up with it together probably. And,
Well,
I mean, I want to get to that point, but I just don't even know the first thing about like bidding and
Well, what are you
commercial
doing
world.
on the set on those sets? Like
I usually, right now, I've been doing VTR assisting. So, I just do video playback for like clients and things like that. So I'm just like a regular crewman on most of those sets, so I don't really do any, like, I'm not even like a director.
I still think
Yeah.
that's amazing. Dude.
Yeah,
still
I mean,
think
like,
it's
and that's how I
because you know
learn.
what? You're on there watching how they're running the cameras, how they're doing
Exactly.
things, and absorbing all that information, making yourself better, man.
Well, and that's how we're able, and that's why I think this next film of ours will be the best, is because we've been learning all of this stuff on set, and now we're bringing it back and putting it into our personal projects. And that's why, people, like, people always like, oh, Laughter Not Guaranteed looked so amazing. And like me, that wasn't even a thought process of mine. You know what I mean? When people would come up to me, what did you shoot that on? I'm like, oh, we shot it on red. It's like, to me, that doesn't mean it. Like, it's not like this big ordeal. Like, I got to have the, like, some people, they just like, I got to have the red. I got to have these great cameras.
Camera snobs
Yeah.
and shit.
But I'm just like me. I'm just like, hey, you know, I just have access to it or whatever. You know, I'm just like, it doesn't like the camera.
Is that because
is
they're
like-
just all your friends, or you guys like have a production team together? that
No,
you guys
I mean,
do, or-
mainly it's just because we're all friends and we've all worked together in the industry together, you know?
Because it's just interesting. Because I've been on, you know, every kind of set from student films to
Yeah.
fucking huge productions and shit. And then when you asked me to come on your short film, you guys are like professional as fuck as far as the equipment you have. You know, I'm used to showing up and they got DSLRs or
Yeah.
fucking, you know.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's just like one of those things where once I started working on actual commercials and things like that, and I was like, oh, this is how things are supposed to be ran, you know what I mean? And then I brought it over to my short films and all my, you know,
It's genius, man.
And so most of the time when people come, you know, like local actors come on to my productions and things like that, they're always like, oh, they're very professional.
No,
Everything
totally,
looks
yeah.
good, you know what I mean? And everything, like, you know, I'm able to give like that actor or whoever like a nice piece of work for their demo reels
Totally.
and things like that, you know. Because a lot of times, like
That's
I
a
said,
good vibe to put off, man.
Yeah.
Especially here in Phoenix, because
Yeah.
you don't get that a lot. Like where you show up on set, you know, and you're like, holy shit, this is actually pretty dope.
yeah, so yeah, and that was one of the big things that, you know, a lot, even Julio, one of our lead actor in Toro, that he was just, you know, he's always like, you guys treated us so well on, you know, on Alter Valley and things like that, and I always get that like, oh, they treated us so well. So I always like to try to make sure we treat, you know, people with like, you know, some dignity, some respect a little bit on, you know, on our
Yeah,
sets
the
and stuff.
vibe was
Yeah.
good. I got to piss like a motherfucker if you can just.
Yeah, at least you want people to be able to just say, hey, I had a good
Good experience, yeah.
good experience
Mhm.
on that set, and I
Mhm.
enjoyed doing it, and I enjoyed, you know, what I went through and this and that. That's very important. I think word of mouth and that organic growth that everybody talks about.
Yeah.
It's so important,
Mhm.
you know. But you know, crazy, man.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. I was really impressed with it, and I'm really stoked to see what you guys got coming up next. So.
Yeah. So, man, I'm excited to share everything with everyone. I mean, like it's like this project is our biggest film to date, just because it's a period piece.
When does it take place?
It takes place in the 70s
Okay.
in Mexico City.
Craziness.
Yeah, and it'll be like it's another challenge, just because like in Alter Valley, our film took place in on the border in like close to Mexico and on the border of Mexico and in Mexico, but we found locations. That's the biggest key too, is finding locations that look like, you know, Mexico, or you know what I mean. And so that was the biggest thing too for this project, was finding the right locations, the right ranch to, you know, film this that looked like this would
Old
be,
school.
yeah, that old school that would look like it would be in Mexico. And then our wardrobe.
You said earlier that you've scouted locations in
Mhm.
Mexico.
Oh yeah, so we scouted one
Okay.
location just because we want to get that.
Yeah.
We want to get that
that
establishing shot of that big arena, that bullfighting arena, to be like, okay, boom, this is where we're at, just to add that extra production value to the film, you know. And so we're planning on, like I said, going down there and hopefully getting Julio in the stadium and shooting a few shots of him like entering the stadium and like, you know, the arena and doing all this stuff. So I mean, that would be like the last day of production, but we're really wanting to do that.
Do you have scenes of him actually bullfighting?
No, so that's the biggest thing about this film. It's not about actual bullfighting.
Yeah,
it's
he's
about,
just a bullfighter.
It's a bullfighter, and it's about what happens
His
before he goes on the actual fight. You know what I mean? It's the story about
him getting ready,
like prepping for it.
I'm gonna say prepping. It's the drama between his family and his fame. Like he's like what he's gonna choose between. Like he loves bullfighting, but he also loves his wife. You know, his wife wants him to stop bullfighting because it's a very dangerous sport. You know, and so he's conflicted. You know, he loves being in the spotlight. He loves, because if you look at, like, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen like an actual bullfight, like even on TV, just like, you know, these guys, they're putting on a show. They're like, you know, it's a performance. It's
those
like,
guys are superstars.
Yeah, yes, exactly. They're superstars. So, and he loves that. And so he has this internal battle with himself about like, you know,
just getting mad pussy and having a life.
yeah. Well, not all that. But I mean, if our character was single, I mean, that would probably be the struggle. You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
It could still be the struggle. He is a superstar.
Yeah, he's a superstar. But I mean, obviously he does. I mean, he's, you know, he loves his wife. He loves his family. But you know, does he love bullfighting, you know, the fame a little bit more? You know what I mean? Not necessarily. He doesn't love. I mean, like, he doesn't necessarily love bullfighting. It's like he loves being in the spotlight, the fame, the attention. That's what he's like. Oh my, you know, and as anybody who's like, you know,
it's like a drug.
It's a drug. You know, you get high off the crowd. You know what I mean?
That. Comedians
talk
about that all the time.
You get the feature film, does it show maybe the bullfighting?
So yeah, if we ever got a feature film, it would definitely show the bullfighting. It would show the aftermath. I mean, obviously we won't harm an actual bull, be like CG or something. But
I was gonna say, like,
yeah,
how
yeah,
the fuck
it'd be like, it'll be like CG and stuff. But I mean, it would, like I said, we would want to focus on the struggle of fame, the story of fame and everything. Like, and I don't want people to be like, oh man, you're glorifying, you know, bullfighting or killing an animal. And it's not about that. It's about like what happens before it, you know, that. And it's a human story, you know, because I mean, my thing is, it's not my place to tell a culture of people like, stop doing this. You know what I mean? You know,
you're just telling a story.
Yeah, I'm just telling a story. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not my place to tell people to be like, you should stop bullfighting, because like I said, I'm not Mexican. I don't know what what bullfighting means to that culture. You know what I mean? I don't know what bullfighting means to if I was to go to Spain, what it means to that culture. You know what I mean? Like, because
that's why you brought a writer in.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
do you sit with him while he writes, or just let him?
I let him do it. Yeah, we just exchange. We send it back and forth.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. When me and Aiden at the beginning of quarantine, we sat with each other on a daily basis for a really long time, and then once we actually started taking it a little bit serious, we started doing like FaceTiming, and so we'll wake up at like 7 a.m., drink some coffee, and you know, and then we'll be on FaceTime writing.
Sick.
Yeah. So writing, I wrote 2 films. One's called Black Santa, and the other one's called Carne Asada. And the Carne Asada is a comedy horror zombie film, which I'm excited for. I like that one. And then Black Santa is just like a holiday film, holiday, you know, family adventure type film. So yeah.
At least you were productive.
Yeah, I was productive. Yeah, and so yeah, I was very productive during this quarantine. Yeah. So
talk about Save the Airwaves a little bit.
Save the Airwaves? I mean, like, really? I mean, we really haven't been doing much. Like I said, we're gearing up for Toro. Mm-hmm. That's you know, the big project that we've been gearing up towards. But other than that, we haven't really been doing anything. We've just been kind of, you know, it's one of those things where we write, we sit here and we just write and do a bunch of projects. I mean, we do like client work still, like, you know, for like medical stuff and, you know, just normal to pay to, you know, get paid and stuff like that. But in terms of the creative side, like what we want to do in terms of like, you know, making movies and feature films, is that, you know, we got Toro coming out. Hopefully.
Is this like a production company of yours?
Oh yeah, it's a production company. Yeah, Save the Airwaves. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's my production company. And how Save the Airwaves was started was back in when I was in college, and it was like back in the hype of like YouTube and everybody having DSLRs and everything like that. And it was just one of those things where I was just like, I got to save content. I got to be, you know, and so that was where the name came up, was Save the Airwaves, you know, because there was just so much stuff being like just blown out there, you know, and it still is, you know.
It's wild west.
It's the wild west. So, and I mean, and that's why we're kind of just hesitant on like just putting out like certain content anyway, is because we want to have that certain quality of content, you know, and so we just take our time with projects, you know. We're just not like,
well, that's the luxury you have of doing it yourself.
Yeah.
You don't have some fucking head studio exec saying we need it by this date.
Yeah, I mean, all honesty, we want to get to that point.
No, I know, but I'm just where saying, we want right now.
Right now we have that luxury of
making it good.
Yeah, making it good. And I mean, who's to say like we wouldn't be able to make a good film under the gun? we would have money and budget and like, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't have to crowd fund and things like that. But yeah, I think.
Yeah, but one day when you're making that movie, you write a book about all that shit and other people will learn from it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind teaching film, you know, at a like more like at a prestigious school or something that actually taught like kids, like, you know, brought them on set, like let them, because sometimes I one of the big things about filmmaking is that people don't realize how much work goes into filmmaking. And
he just recently, I think, realized that because he acted in a scene recently.
Okay.
But you're right, because he was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, we were just doing the same shit over and over.
Yeah. And so I think that's the biggest thing, is that a lot of people love the idea of filmmaking, but they don't realize how much work goes into it. So
And tedious work.
Yeah, tedious work. And so a lot of people just like, I know a lot of people who I went to film school, graduated film school. They don't do anything in film. You know what I mean? They because it's just, you either want to do it or you don't want to do it. You know, it's just like you get on set and you're doing it for.
It seems exciting at first.
Yeah, it seems exciting and cool, but
then like 6-8 hours in.
Yeah.
And then,
well, I mean, that's a normal day, 8
sure.
hours, but like.
Sometimes you're like 15, 16 hours.
15, 16 hours. A normal day is 10 hours, you know, for most of the time. But, you know, if you're on so if you're not in like the union side of things, like, you know, the grip or camera where it's a 10-hour, but if you're on the production side, which is not unionized, you could be there for
20 hours.
Maybe, you know what I mean? And there's, you know, there's some jobs where, you know, I remember working a commercial for Arizona Lottery where I was on set from, I had to be 4 a.m. and didn't leave until 2 a.m. the next morning.
I just realized that's where I saw you on set, because I was in one of those commercials.
Oh, were you? Okay, yeah. So that,
Windfall Willie.
Oh, yeah, Willie. Yeah, exactly.
You remember the one with the hallway? Were you on that one? They built like a hallway and he came down with that pick and he handed it off to people and shit.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the dudes he handed it off to.
Yeah, so yeah, I do a lot of those, and you know, I mean,
those are dope sets though too. Like how they were like movable. And
Peter, one of the local art guys, he's, you know, older dude. He's been in the industry for fucking decades, and I've never seen a person whose work is like amazing. I remember being on in a pre-production meeting, and the director was talking, and he had his iPad Pro, and he was just doing this. And I was just like, okay. And he was just doing that. And then he was just like, and then he was like, something like this. And we were like, and I was like, can I frame that? You know what I mean? It's just like, he's just that good. You know what I mean?
Like
and it's just like
storyboarding
and drawing up sets and just making his sets. Like I remember one of the best sets I've been on of his was that for this anti-lawyer commercial, which I've been in multiple times. Like people always hit me up and they're always just like, Parco, I think I've seen you on TV.
Acting?
Yeah, acting. Yeah. And they're always like, I think I've seen you on TV. And I'm like, well, and then it'll follow by like a screenshot, and I'm like, yep, that's me. And they're like, oh yeah, I knew that was you. Like people I haven't talked to in like years. They were like, I think I saw you on TV, and I'm like, yeah, you saw me on TV. Commercial I've done, and it's just running. But anyway, that the second commercial for that dude, he built this fucking circus inside of a studio, and it was freaking amazing. Like it had to be the best. Like I was just like, whoa, like I ain't never seen anything like it. It was just like the amount of detail, like to build that from scratch, like, you know, it's just.
And they cut a lot of corners that you don't realize that is really good ideas on how they fake shit out.
Yeah.
And those guys are
fake sets and shit.
Oh yeah, fake sets.
They're
Yeah.
like, but a lot of them are like mechanical engineers that are just bored, like, you know.
Well, the set with the lottery one, I was in the hallway, but they were doing another scene where like the set actually moved and he was into a different set, and there was all this crazy shit, and were like, the sets were like on wheels and shit, like the walls and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man, it gets crazy.
You have to time it all right, and
it just, you know, I would never be like, if in my wildest dreams think I would be on these type of sets where I'm just like, sometimes I'll get on set and I'm just like, man, yeah, wow, like this is a great production to be part of. Sometimes I'm on set and I'm just like, God, can this day just be over with? You know what I mean? Like, cause you know, especially if there's like a product you don't really care about, like if it's like some pharmaceutical thing and it's just like, well, you know what I mean? You're just there for the paycheck. But then sometimes you do get those projects where you're just like, wow, I'm glad I was on this job. You know what I mean? Or wow, you know, I'm glad to be a part of that. Or,
there's nothing more fun than getting a group of people together and just seeing the creativity spark from that. Like it doesn't happen on the pharmaceutical shit, but like your own, when you're doing your own shit.
Exactly. Like, you know, people always like, what filmmaker would you love to, like, what set would you always love to be on? And at this point, back in back in college, I would have been like, oh, I would have loved to be on this set. But now that after being on like actual productions, I'm like, I think to myself, I'm like, actually, I probably wouldn't want to be on like any of these guys' sets. Probably like some like especially like David Fincher or something like that.
Like 50 takes and
50
shit.
takes.
Yeah.
I would be like pissed. You know, the type of thing where I'm
Well,
like,
fucking
come
imagine
on,
the
dude.
act. Imagine the actor.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
I mean yeah.
as an actor, you just might be like, come on, are you fucking serious?
Yeah,
48.
Yeah,
We're
like
doing
take
48.
and then use take
But he
one.
does crazy shit where he comps his scenes together. Like
Yeah.
like if you were in the same scene, like he'll take one take and then another take from that one, but
And
splice them
just
together.
splice them together. Yeah, I mean I've seen that too.
But yeah.
But
I would fucking I think give my
If
left nut to
anything-
be on a Christopher Nolan set, dude.
Oh yeah, you know
I think that would just be the baddest shit ever.
I think the biggest idea is it's like I'm scared of the whole, you know, don't meet your heroes type of thing where you like you'll get on this set and you meet and you're just like, oh man, Christopher Nolan's an asshole. Oh man, we all know David Fincher's a little bit of an asshole, but like he's even bigger. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just like I just don't want to lose that. Like, you know, I've seen David Fincher in interviews and talking and everything
He's
like
kind of a
that,
dick.
and you kind of get that
Yeah, he's
vibe.
a dickhead.
Yeah, but he's a true artist, you know, also in the same sense. And you're just like, I would just love to like instead of being on set, I would just love to be like a night of drinks. You know what I mean? We just talking, you know what I mean, about filmmaking. And that's what I think I would love to just talk. Like I wouldn't want to be on any of the filmmaker sets. I would just love to be
You
like
wouldn't want
at
to
a-
see them operate?
No, I
Why?
wouldn't. I just wouldn't want to be there. I wouldn't
Wow.
want to because I just don't want to lose the magic, you know, behind it. You know, I
You
just
don't watch behind the scenes?
I watch
of
behind the
movies and
scenes, but
shit?
like usually it's unaudible. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, they don't usually. It's not like you'll hear the all right rolling action. You know, you hear that stuff, but you never. And then it cuts to them in an interview, like, you know, type of thing. But I wouldn't want to be there on set where like because they're not going to show you the pressure of him being like yelling and like, you know what I mean, and like
well,
the
for
running gun.
example, I just played a dead body on fucking Westworld, and I got to watch Jonathan Nolan direct Ed Harris like right in front of me and shit, and like I don't know, you just get to see like the way they fucking I don't know, it's hard to explain.
I mean, as an actor, I mean, like
Actually,
I'm
you
sure-
know what it is? This is what it is. It's not even that. It doesn't seem like they're real people. And then you see them in person and you're like, holy shit, this is just a real human being. And they're
Yeah.
just doing it at the top caliber level. Like it kind of like humbles you in a sense. Like,
yeah, that you're in the presence of it.
yeah,
know.
exactly. So it just makes you, I don't know, I can't even.
It
walk.
takes away the magic, just like
It's like
you
a-
said.
yeah,
I
just
don't
like-
think it
like-
does because I love it so much. To me, I don't know. I don't know. I just love it
I
so
don't know.
much.
I-
It doesn't take away the
Well, I
magic.
was gonna say I wouldn't want to go sit down and talk to them. I would love to be like back in the day, like in comics, when like all the big publishers like Marvel and DC, they were based in New York. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And all the artists and creators would all go to the same bars and just hang out at the same bars and chat, right?
Mhm.
And talk shop.
Mhm.
And I would love to be at something like that where like these directors are just going and they just hanging out and they're
Yeah.
just talking to each other. And I would love to just
like
be
those
a
Vanity
flying-
Fair shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like that's what I would like to do. I just like to.
I would
just-
like to do that too.
Yeah, and just talk. Yeah, I mean, like, and just talk
after
for
the set.
talk for like 30, like just have a conversation with David Fincher for like 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes. And if we actually just had a lot of stuff in common, we just kept talking and chatting, that would be nice. But if it's just like, you know, something like, hey, you know, big fan of yours, you know.
Yeah, just
Like-
make sure you're not running after them, you know, trying to hand them your script.
No, nothing like that. I like,
I
That was
can't
last
stand
podcast.
that. Yeah, that well,
I told a story in the last podcast. I was
What's
at
that?
FedEx, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell it again, but like Donald Sutherland, I'll just tell a little
Uh,
short version of it.
uh.
Donald Sutherland had came in, you know, Donald Sutherland,
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
Hollywood royalty.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He was just bringing boxes in and out, and this guy was printing off headshots and was trying to give it to Donald Sutherland, like he's going to do something with it. And
Yeah.
I was watching
Here
it.
in Phoenix?
No, this is in LA.
Oh, okay.
I was watching it like this. Like, oh my God, is this guy really doing
Mhm.
this? Like, what the fuck?
Like, what's he gonna do with that for?
Exactly. That's what he said. He goes, well, what am I gonna do with that? Send it to my agent. He
Yeah,
just
yeah,
walked
yeah.
off, and I go because I told my girlfriend, go watch this train.
Yeah.
Because this guy was like, he was on the phone. He's like, I'm gonna give my headshot to Donald Sutherland.
Yeah.
And he was all excited, and I'm like,
Like,
what a
what's Donald?
fucking
He's an
idiot.
actor too. Like, what's he gonna do? Like, he.
dude, you
Yeah.
know what? Like, I'm an actor,
Yeah.
and people think I can get him in shit here in
Yeah.
Phoenix. I'm like, I can't get you in shit. I act in shit. Like, what the fuck?
I know people reach out to me. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. I mean, well, people reach out to me too, and they, you know, they ask to be in projects and stuff. But
Because you're on these big sets. Like,
yeah,
how
I'm
do you
on
get
big.
'em on
Yeah,
there?
but also it's just like, you know, they know we do short films, you know, like when we were gearing up for this, you know, I'm still getting emails like, oh, you got a spot for me. I'm just like, we're not going to create roles for you to be in
I know what
something.
you
You know
mean.
what I mean? It's just like, you know, if
the
we,
right role will find you.
Exactly.
And you know what? And I know, like, I've already worked with you, whether you liked working with me or not. If
Yeah.
a role comes up, you'll ask me for it. And if not, it's not. I'm never gonna get butthurt if 10 more projects come out and you never ask me again. I'll just be like,
well, that's the thing.
that role didn't find me.
I usually go to the source. That's why I always work with like people I know already. Like any actors that I've worked with already, and I'm just like, and I'm writing something. Like right now, I'm writing. There's an idea. There was like a treatment that Pedro wrote called Milk Run, and it's not in a script, but it's like in this kind of treatment. So right now I'm going through and I'm writing it. You know, I'm just like, hey, let me just, you know, I like comedy, and I was like, let me just write this. I'll write the script for this. And so I was already thinking about you for this opening shot, because it does this. It's this weird like kind of rewind type of thing where it's like this narrator, like kind of Morgan Freeman voice, and he's narrating. And he's like, all stories start with a hero, and it's like, and it's like you, and I pictured you with the long hair, like sleeping in like this bed, and then it was just like, it starts with a man that, and then there's like, and then the narrator's like stops and pauses, like, wait. Stories always start with a man, and it rewinds all the way back, and it goes through time and everything like that, and then it starts again, and then it's like now it's like replaced with a different person. But I just thought of you for just that one shot of the film, you know.
It's interesting when you write like the different kind of characters that come to your head, especially like people that you know and stuff. Yeah,
and so that's for because like I said, I haven't directed anything.
Are you directing this? Or producing?
No, I'm just producing.
Who's directing it?
Pedro.
Oh, Pedro
Perez.
And he wrote it.
Yeah, he wrote it with alongside of Rahulio, who is our main actor, lead actor. And so me and Rahulio, we came up with the idea years ago. Gave it to Pedro. Yeah. He wrote something. We were like, okay. And we were like, let's do it. But then the biggest challenge for us back then was that the bullfighting outfit, the costume. And we were just like, where the fuck are we gonna find a?
Well, I was gonna ask you in
Matador
general,
costume?
isn't it stressful trying to do isn't it a period piece?
Yeah, it's a period piece. Yeah, that's why we need the
shit.
Yeah, and that's why we need the funds. Like first, that's what we were just trying
for wardrobe.
For wardrobe. And and I mean, like, just that's why it's just gonna take so much more money, is because the art design of making
the details of the background, with the cars, fucking
everything. And luckily we
buildings, architecture,
and luckily it doesn't take place in like crazy places where we need to like show all of that. It's just
it's
like,
a short film. It's maybe just a few locations.
Yeah, a few locations.
Great.
Yep. Yeah. And so, and that's the good thing about it, man. I can imagine if it was like, oh, we got a car shot and this and that, like, oh. You know, I'm not Quentin Tarantino. I can't shut down like the 405 or whatever.
I know, but it would be fun if you could, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then like have all of these classic cars go on, and then have Brad Pitt and all these guys talking in like.
That's my biggest heartbreak in my acting history career is I was supposed to be an extra in that film, and they just never called me. Because remember, I had the long hair and the beard.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And the casting agent was like, "Hey, just be on standby till fall."
Yeah.
And I waited from fucking August till December and shit, and they fucking never called me. And that was another moment I was like, "Fuck!" Like I just wanted to watch Quentin Tarantino. Fucking, you know,
and they you're probably going to be in the ranch scene, that one scene where where they go to the ranch and it's like.
Yeah,
Charles Manson's like ranch area.
Yeah,
whatever.
Who knows? I look pretty fucking. But I had like a couple friends. Like one friend was in a scene with Leonardo DiCaprio. Another friend met Al Pacino and shit. I'm like, man, that motherfucker.
Yeah, well, the bar scene probably like
the bar scene. Yeah.
See, that's
you can actually see him. I could see my buddy in it.
Oh,
and shit.
Fucking asshole. No. Now he's in history.
Yeah, you guys hate. Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Fuck him. Good for him. Fuck him. Good for him, though. I mean, but other than that, I mean, I think we're on to some good. I think we're going to have some a really productive last couple of months here in 2020, where it's just been like kind of just a shit show of a.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're at least the first half of 2021 is still going to be kind of the same type shit.
I know, I feel like that too.
And
everyone thinks that like January 1st is going to happen and everything's going to get better.
It's going to be like floop. You know, like it's just gonna go back to normal where I'm just like,
This
nah,
is normal.
This is the new normal,
Yeah.
and you know, it's sad to say because I would love to go out and go to bar and not have to be like 100 feet from like everybody and go to another concert. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Go see
fucking
Tom York.
concerts.
You know what I mean? All these tickets that I've had for people and like it's just been postponed,
Pushed back.
pushed back. I mean, fuck. I mean, like just gotta wait until whatever vaccine or whatever the hell decides to come out. But I mean,
Have you
it is
seen
what it
Tenet
is.
yet?
I have seen Tenet. It was a very, it's one of those movies. It's like, it's like once you get to the end and you're like, like,
Don't say anything.
you haven't seen it?
No, not yet.
Oh, never mind. Then I won't talk too much.
And, which
of it.
I'm really ashamed of myself because I am a huge Christopher Nolan nerd, and usually
Go see it in
I
IMAX, dude.
I am definitely going to see. I just told him that today. I'm
Yeah.
like, we need to go see this motherfucker.
Yeah, I saw it in IMAX and it was just like it was.
That's
amazing.
in Mills, right?
Yeah, AZ.
Is that the only one?
There's another
Is
one,
there
but
one by you?
I think there's one on the 101, isn't there? Like the 101, the Eastern Corridor of the 101.
I don't know. I just know that one at
Yeah,
Mills is
Mills,
like the biggest
OG
one.
one, yeah.
Like that's the biggest one ever or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
So it was worth watching there. And shit?
Oh yeah, it was
Fuck
great.
yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. I mean, I totally enjoyed it. So I mean, some people, like I said, it's just it takes a lot. If you miss a little bit, you're gonna be lost. So you just one of those movies where you just gotta.
I can't piss.
Yeah, you can't piss. You gotta stay. Or if you do gotta piss, wait until like you're halfway at the end and then like go piss and then come back. But at the beginning, if you're missing certain things, because like I said, it's
It's a Nolan film.
a Nolan film, but it's a weird take on time travel. I think I don't know. I don't want to give too much about it. It's like because they don't really touch about that, dude. Sorry, spoiler alert, guys.
No, you're
but
good.
it's like
But
yeah, it's like a weird take on time travel. So it's like.
But can you not wait to see it again?
I mean, I would love to see it again, but I mean, would I go into the theaters again probably to see it? Probably not. I mean, I could probably wait until like it came out on Blu-ray or something like that and watched it again. Because now that you know what's going on, the second viewing would be totally.
Nolan's the king of that.
Yeah, my buddy went and saw it again in IMAX, and he said the second time it was fucking amazing. Like you, the first time you're paying attention, trying not to miss a single thing, but now that you haven't missed it, you know what's going
Catching
on.
a lot of
Yeah,
cool
and then you
shit.
go back and rewatch it, you're just like brilliant.
My
you know
favorite
what I mean?
movie of all time by Christopher Nolan is The Prestige, and that's exactly
yeah.
how that was. The
Yeah,
second time after you learn about him being the brother
Oh,
and
yeah.
the way he plays it,
spoiler alert.
and it's like
For
if
people
you haven't
that
seen that
movie's 20
motherfucker,
years
fuck
old.
you, fuck you.
spoiler alert.
But if you haven't seen it, fuck, you need to watch that.
Yeah,
shit. It's
Prestige
dope.
is my favorite Nolan film. I mean, like I always tell
Is it
people,
really? That's mine
it's,
too.
Yeah, it's one of my
Not a
favorite
lot of people
films.
say that.
I love that film.
I love that fucking film so much.
Me
dude.
too. That's what I can watch that film over and over again. Like
Me
that's
too.
one of my favorite
Oh, yeah.
ones. Yeah.
How badass is Christopher fucking Nolan to drop Batman Begins, right,
Uh-huh.
and just revive a whole fucking character
Yeah.
after fucking Joel Schumacher?
Yeah.
Then come out with The Prestige,
Mm-hmm.
then The Dark Knight,
Yeah.
then Inception,
Yeah.
and then Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
You drop Prestige and Inception in between the Batman movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're both fucking killer.
That's what I mean. I love Inception too. I always tell people that I would rather had. I was telling my buddy Tala this the other day. I was just like, I would have rather had. What would have got people? Because right now people were like, we were talking about how Christopher Nolan was thinking that his name would sell to get people back into theaters right now, which is
What do you
clearly
think? He
not.
thought that, or
I don't know. That's what because
Somebody, yeah.
because Christopher Nolan was pushing so hard to like release
the poor fucking cinematographer is holding a fucking 200 fucking pound
Yeah.
camera on his shoulder for 80% of the film.
I know.
Go watch it in the fucking IMAX theater
Yeah.
for Christ's sake.
I
You know
mean,
what I mean, you
and-
can't blame him.
I mean, that's true, but I mean, like, also, it's just like it was just he was just really pushing for it, and he thought people were gonna go see it, be like, oh, it's Christopher Nolan, and I was just like, and me personally, I feel like if Inception would have came out right now, like today, if that was the movie that he was pushing right now, people would have been like, go to the fucking theater and watch Inception. I think
so you're saying
I think,
it's not as good as
no,
Inception.
it's good, but I think Tenet is just too much. You know what I mean? It's too much focus, too much. It's like it's very
deep.
It's deep.
A lot of people don't have that attention.
You know,
span
yeah,
for
and
that.
it's like you miss something. Like But Inception, you can miss a little bit and understand. It's easy to understand Inception. You know what I mean? It's
Inception
just like,
was so fun to go home and like read theories online.
yeah, exactly, and that's what I mean. Like, so, and I think that's what, you know, if Inception
I can't
came
wait
out
to
today,
see Tenet so I
Yeah.
could go online and go watch the
Dude.
YouTube videos of
What- dude.
theories. And
Well, I'm already
I love
pretty
that
deep
shit.
on like the behind the scenes stuff on Tenet. I've been watching a lot of it. But I haven't seen. Is Cillian Murphy in this?
no, he's not in it. No,
Okay.
no.
And you know what else is interesting is Hans Zimmer didn't do the score
His
because he had the choice to do that or Dune, and he chose Dune.
no.
And so
I think he's been training some like like some kid, like some person, like the
some like 8-year-old.
no, yeah, some kid, yeah. No. I think he's like, I mean, he's like a little older, but
No, I'm just kidding.
but I think he's like kind of like his under his wing,
Protege,
like
or-
protege taking over, because I think he was doing it with I think it was like Blade Runner, like he was a part of it, but I think the guy he's training was.
Are you talking about Denis Vanilla? How the fuck do you say his last
But
name?
I mean, yeah, that his movie. I mean, but whoever whoever the score, the composer.
Oh, the score.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I see what you're
composer.
saying. I see
Yeah,
what you're
the guy who did I think like
Hans Zimmer. has
Hans Zimmer
another-
was like kind of just watching it. He was just like
probably
overseeing it.
producing
Yeah,
and shit.
He was
Yeah.
overseeing it. I think more. Maybe, I don't know. I could be wrong, but
You guys see who they're talking about to be the new James Bond?
Isn't it Tom Hardy?
Yeah, Tom Hardy and Cillian Murphy are the two leaders.
I thought they picked Tom Hardy, but it's not true.
I
I
haven't
heard
heard that
Henry Cavill. They were talking about him.
Well, no,
He just signed a buttload of Supermans.
No.
They're saying like the odds are right now that Hardy, Cillian Murphy,
Hang on, Mimi.
or that fucking dude from Game of Thrones.
I thought it was gonna be
I
Idris
think
Elba.
I think they. Yeah, that would be awesome.
That was
That
a
would've been
while
bad as
ago.
fuck.
That was that should have been Idris Elba, man. That would have been great, but they've lost it. They've let that fall.
I think the biggest thing with James Bond, I think they should just let that character be retired and go with a different number.
No
Yes.
way.
I think there's
I'm
like
not
there's
really.
other-
Daniel
I'm not,
Craig
I'm not
is
really
so
a
good
Bond
at that.
person.
I love
to
Daniel
do.
Craig's Bond.
yeah,
dude.
I mean, like
I don't know.
I think
I
everybody,
watch it and I enjoy it, but I'm not
No.
like I don't care if there was never another Bond again.
yeah, I think everybody has their generation bonds too. I mean, like I grew up like
Pierce
with
Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan, and so I'm like,
007.
you know, playing with that, and then like obviously
What's that?
as a younger man, Daniel
Yeah,
Craig was
007,
amazing.
Yeah.
GoldenEye.
Oh, GoldenEye.
Yeah, GoldenEye.
Did you play
GoldenEye,
that?
Yeah. So I mean, but I think if they go forward with the series, I think like I mean, you can have Bond still in it, but just like different 00. You know what I mean? Just because
009.
009, 006, 005.
Tom
How do you do
001? You know what
Do
I
you
mean?
say 0011 or you just say or how does that work?
I don't know. Like,
011?
Ot 11.
What?
I mean, like I just.
That's
I don't know.
isn't that how like British say zero? As
I
they
don't
say
know.
Zed.
Z-
Oh,
Zed
I don't
11.
know that.
No, I don't
More
know.
McClay facts.
Well, the
We should like verify these facts. though.
Yeah, I know, right? We're just talking all this. We're just theory talking right now.
yeah. Where can they find you on social media?
Parco Rich. Oh, Instagram. Parco Rich. Facebook, which I think after I'm done crowdfunding, I think I might get rid of the Facebook. It's just
I think about that every day. dude.
yeah, if it wasn't because of the industry, we work in, I would have got rid of it a long time ago.
I say that all the time.
But I think Instagram and Twitter are just like my two. I use those two more,
Me too.
and I'm like, there's no reason for me to have Facebook really anymore. And it's just like, guys, if you want to follow me on.
Let's just go back to MySpace, right? Is
Yeah,
that
let's go to
around?
MySpace. You know,
You
what
can
I
have your
mean?
song on there, you
Dude.
can
I know,
fucking
man. You can have
make
your top
page.
friends. You know
top
what I mean?
8.
Yeah, top 8. You know what I mean? Like that was the life. And you could customize your page and
Your
everything.
song.
Yeah,
if you
your
were depressed
song.
that day, you put a sad song.
Yeah,
on.
exactly, man. I love MySpace back then. Now Tom's over there living his life. You know what I mean?
He's
Like,
balling on his yacht, just
dude,
fucking bitches.
he's just maybe. I heard he's just like traveling the world though. Like he sold all, he sold it when he, back in the day for some crazy amount of money, and now he's just been like traveling the world. Just,
Smart. That's fun. That's a good
Living
idea.
his life. That's
Living
the
his
same
wa-
thing I
yeah.
always said. If
I would love to do that.
Yeah, if I won the lottery, man, you wouldn't even hear from me. I would just be.
Dude, you don't even hear from this
Gone.
guy. Like you wouldn't even know what this guy,
Peace.
the guy from the MySpace dude. Like he has a MySpace, he has an Instagram, And
You follow him and shit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he travels the world.
yeah, and
you're
that's all
right.
he does. He
Yeah.
just takes pictures
Damn,
and
I
travels the
wanna
world. But he
follow him
doesn't. But he
He's
doesn't.
become a really good photographer.
Yeah, exactly. And then
I
like,
saw a story on him not too long ago.
yeah, and he doesn't do any money. He's like, he's just
Speaking of Instagram, check out the Bogcast on Instagram.
yes.
We don't really ever push that, do we?
No, we don't. So
Thanks for saying that,
Yeah,
McCoy.
yeah. Go check out at the Bogcast on Instagram. There is a Facebook page for the Bogcast too. Check out the Bogcast on Facebook. Check us out on Spotify, on iTunes, on Google Play Music, on Amazon Music, on Stitcher, on Player FM.
I can't believe you're remembering all this right now.
On the podcatchers. I am really stoned right now.
I
know, I
know,
can
man.
tell.
I thought you're melting into the seat over there. I was just
bro.
like, man, is he gonna fall asleep on me over here?
If he's out, we just let him go.
Yeah,
It's
just
fine.
let
We're
him
still-
fall. Yeah, you just
That's
like,
why there's two of us.
yeah. You just pass out, man. Go ahead, take a little
Nah,
nap.
just chilling.
Plus, we got Lee Syed over here.
Just chilling. So, yeah, shout out to go check all that stuff out. Make sure you guys go to patreon.com/thebogcast. If you guys want to support us, it's $3 a month, $36, as little as $3 a month, $36 a year. We've got multiple levels over there. And if you guys want some stickers and stuff, hit us up on social media, and we'll figure out a way to get them out to you. All that fun stuff.
And don't forget to go to my page and support the Kickstarter.
Fuck yeah, man. Plug
torodeoro.
away.
And yeah, we're maybe actually we might have hit some more. Let's see. Let me double
live
check.
check.
Yeah, live check
Live
here.
check-in.
Oh yeah, since we've been here, we've had $100 so far.
Not bad.
Yeah. So yeah, go to a Kickstarter, torodeoro. Coming soon.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to see this, man.
Me too. I mean, like, dude, the pictures. I mean,
Is
like,
it a 2-day shoot?
no, it's gonna be like 4 days.
Oh,
Maybe,
4 days?
maybe a week. We're not sure yet,
Yeah,
but
that's
it's falling in between the 3 to 4 days right now.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be fun.
All right, man. Well, we really appreciate you taking the time to come on here. You know, if you have anything you ever want to promote, or even just come on and just bullshit about films and movies, man, I always love picking your brain and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I've had an idea for a podcast actually, and this would be fun to do if you guys decided to like just do like one like episode or something like that. But it's just like
him naked.
Yeah, him naked, and that's it.
We
just rub
do that
butter.
He's always
We do
Yeah.
that for
It's
that's for our
always
Patreon
me.
members. That $3 a month thing. That's what you get.
It's always me. It's always me.
I know why you always taking your clothes off. It's weird.
But it was an Oscar like kind of like just where we discuss like we go past Oscar winners and we just discuss like the list of like people
I
who
would
got
love to
nominated.
do something like
You
that.
know,
yeah.
just like the best picture. And, like,
I would love to do
and you
that,
go
dude.
through and like okay,
We
this-
can all watch them.
well, not even that. It's just like if we watched all the movies, we like okay,
You've seen probably most of them.
but like
Oh, I
how
know.
forgettable are some of the like that's what I mean. Like most, I can remember
Most of them
like,
are bullshit.
Yeah, and I think about I was like, who won Best Picture last year?
I
Or,
honestly
you know what I
don't
mean?
give a shit about any of that.
Me
or
neither.
Awards or I don't. When Oscars, I don't even know when they're on or follow it or nothing. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, at this
Not
point,
anymore.
I did.
Yeah,
I
not
did
anymore.
last year only because we did a podcast kind of like that with Matthew Robinson, the guy that runs the Arizona Showcase, Filmmaker Showcase.
Oh
every month.
yeah. Uh-huh.
We did a kind of a podcast like that with him. But yeah, dude, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I love talking fucking movies and film and filmmaking more than anything right
Yeah.
now. So fucking anytime, dude.
Okay, let's do it.
I gotta let the dog out.
Okay.
And that is a wrap on episode 102 of The Bogcast.
Bang.